Hello everyone, and welcome to the fifth part of this Dark Souls playthrough. Today I'm going to be tackling Anor Londo and the twin bosses of Ornstein and Smough. Now I actually forgot to record the narration for this part of the video, so I'm recording over the video. Hopefully the sound quality will be okay. So Anor Londo is a pretty tricky spot. We've got some gargoyles up ahead. I'm going to run past this first one. Fail to dodge the wall. So there's a lot of places you can drop off and die in Anor Londo. Heading into this church or cathedral first. Kind of a tricky section. These guys will continue to throw knives at you if you're not quick. So I'm just finding it easier to get rid of them before I tackle the rafters. So this section is why I really wanted to have my strength up to 32 to be able to wield the halberd with one hand. Being able to block these enemies is really useful in this section, because you can basically just stand there, wait for them to come to you, and then hit them. If you're doing much movement while fighting here, it's obviously pretty dangerous. Statue of Guinevere ahead there. We're going to be meeting her later, briefly. And you'll see very good speedrunners basically just legging it across this section, jumping across onto the platform there. But of course I'm going a wee bit slower. Not dying is probably the fastest way to go about it for me. Don't know why I was in a menu there. Okay, so that's the first section done. And once you hit this lever, you don't have to repeat that section even if you die, because you've opened up the route into the second part of the stage. You can hear the other gargoyle there was just trying to hit me. So I'm just going to run past that one. And up the main steps into the main part of Anor Londo. If you've played Dark Souls 3, you'll recognise this area as well. They reuse it. It's a nice treat to come back, although it's not looking as nice. These giants are tough. Again, you want to run right towards them. If you try to give them a wide berth, they'll most likely hit you with their halberds. More little gargoyles. Got a nice ranged attack, they do, like so. And we're heading towards maybe the most infamous part of Anor Londo, getting past these two Silver Knight archers. This is a super tricky section. There have been many videos made about how to do it. With a reasonable amount of stamina, it's not too bad. You can just walk up this section. From here, it's tricky. They're going to start shooting. Very lucky not to die there. Used the wall to save myself. Lucky not to die again. But he's only going to take one more hit, and we're good. So into the third part of Anor Londo, I guess, if you want to break it up that way. If you missed this bonfire on the left, you would probably not be too happy. And this is where Solaire would appear if you've been following his quest line. From here, it's straight to the bosses. There is a long route through the palace that I don't take in this video. You can take a shortcut here, just jumping over the railing. Not like that. There we go. So that cuts out a huge section full of challenging Silver Knight enemies. Again, a lot of tough enemies here. This area is good for farming, actually. both for Titanite and for souls. These big giants drop a lot of stuff. We're just going to run past them. So into the boss fight. This is not the start you want. Best start is when Ornstein charges you right away. And they're grouped very closely here, so it's a little more difficult to manage. This is not going well at all. I think I'm about to die. There we go. So that's attempt 1 done. And this boss fight is a real roadblock for many players who are playing Dark Souls for the first time. Now, I could put on more armor, but I found that having greater mobility is just far more important in this fight. Keeping your equip load under 25% gives you a very long and fast escape roll, dodge roll, and that's very useful in the second phase of the fight when Smough has an area of effect attack. So again, this is not the start you want. And I handled it poorly, very poorly, so death number 2. So you do get used to this run. If you do the whole palace section, you can open a shortcut there, which makes the run to the boss a little quicker. But you still have to fight 2 silver knights each time. So that can be a drain on your healing items and so on. Right, so this is a better start. Smough's kind of hanging around in the background. Ornstein's right here in front of me. That's not what you want, of course, but that is a pretty good start to the fight in terms of enemy pattern. So this is great here. Ornstein had that big telegraph attack, and he's dead. So you can kill either of these first, and then the other one becomes much more powerful and larger. Smough is not too bad, Super Smough here. As long as you stay close to him. If you try to have a middle range or a long range, he'll keep charging you down, doing leaping attacks. It's very difficult to manage. Now there I was greedy, trying to do a second attack, and there just wasn't time for it. That's the area of effect that will kill me in one hit. But he's doing very, very easy to manage attacks at the moment. And that's because I'm staying quite close. I was very surprised I survived that. And a bit of panic setting in there. I'm rolling more than I need to. Can usually just walk through a lot of those patterns. But anyway, that was a pretty good boss fight. So, important part of the game now, when you go and speak to Guinevere here, you pick up the Lord Vessel, which is an item that allows you to warp or teleport between bonfires. So I completely failed to find the activation point for our conversation with her for a moment. But there we've got the Lord Vessel. So skip the rest of the conversation. And on we go. So you can warp back to this bonfire later if you wanted to, but there's not really any reason to do so. Heading to Firelink, again the main hub of the game, and then we pop down to place the Lord Vessel in a new area. We've got Frampt sticking out of this pit, this big serpent guy. He'll give you a load of lore if you let him, but you can just jump past him and the fall doesn't hurt you, but it does annoy him. We place the Lord Vessel and we're ready for the second half of the game. So that's the end of this video. And in the next one, we'll head down into Lost Izalith to tackle Bed of Chaos, probably the most hated